Good morning, guys, and welcome back to another video. After exploring Mount Rainier for 2 days, yesterday and the day before, we stayed our last night in Ashford, and then we took the car, had some breakfast, and are now on our way to Mount St Helens. If you haven't seen our Mount Rainier video, recommend you check it out. We did some pretty incredible, pretty amazing hikes. Seen a lot of mountains. The Mount Rainier hike itself, we did Spray Falls. Like I said, if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna link it up right here. Go ahead and check that one out. Right now, on the way to Mount St Helens, is about a 2-hour drive, a little bit more than 2 hours from Ashford, which is where we were staying. We got up later as well again because we were in a rush. There isn't too much to do today. A lot of the spots are still closed, but we in the area, and we know about the historic blast that happened here, the eruption. So we're like, let's go check it out, see what it looks like. So the video should be quite short today. On the way though, we stopped at this lake. We were driving by. It looked pretty cool. It looked really big. It's called, I think, Riffe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's R-I-F-F-E. It's huge though. It's really, really large. There's a couple boat ramps, which is one of the stops that we pulled off on the side now. Had some breakfast, and now pretty much we're just walking around, looking around. It looks really nice. It's very blue, as you could see behind me. But yeah, we're gonna continue driving up the mountain now. Got about another hour, 40 minutes left. We took one of the side roads instead of taking the main route, just to see a little bit more of Washington, which has been working out really well. Yeah, our first stop is gonna be the observatory. See what we could see from there. I know the visitor center itself is closed, but I heard that the viewing platform is still open, so let's go check it out. So we were originally driving to the Johnston Ridge Observatory. We were coming from the north side from Mount Rainier, and wanted to take one of the shorter routes to the mountain itself, to Mount St Helens, not the one that went kind of further west. So as we were driving there, we weren't able to continue going because there's a lot of signages posted for private roads. There's actually a pretty cool sign that said that your GPS is wrong, which I guess a lot of people end up going down that way. So if you guys are traveling to Mount St Helens from Mount Rainier, just pay attention to that. Make sure you take the kind of proper roadways, more or less. But we were originally planning to go to the observatory first, which is on the west side of the volcano, but now we are gonna approach it from the east side first. We're gonna do Windy Ridge, I believe is kind of what we're heading towards to, which you'll see on the map right here. Let me show you guys. Yeah, so we were originally planning to go to the Johnston Ridge Observatory first and then make our way to the east side. Instead, what we're doing now is we're gonna hit up the east side first. There is the Windy Ridge, which we're going to now to see the viewpoint of the lava dome and the actual volcano itself, or the mountain. And then we're gonna go down to Lava Canyon, around that area, do a hike there that people said was really nice, and then we'll make our way around the south over back to the west to take a look at the observatory and see the viewpoint there. And as we're driving through the area, you could actually tell that it's quite desolate. It's very dry. There is a lot of like dead trees, a lot of fallen trees. There's a lot of like dirt. You could tell that the nature area is still very young. You could tell that it's still kind of surviving or trying to recover after the blast. And we actually pulled off to this point that we are at now, and there's a really, really nice view of the area there. So you could see all like the dead trees, all the fallen trees, everything that's collapsed. There's a little lake, and then you could see all the different landslides. And then there's some signage kind of explaining about what happened and talking about how nature is slowly starting to recover, how the little animals that were able to hide during the volcano, the rats and the mice and the squirrels, they kind of survived. But whereas the bigger animals and like the larger trees, they were destroyed because the rock through the explosion was thrown at such high speeds and high pace that it pretty much destroyed everything in the area. So yeah, we're gonna go back into the car now, and let's see if we could get to that viewpoint. Babe, are you excited for another hike?
No.
Elevation?
No, with elevation. I can walk a lot, any hikes, but with elevation, that kills me.
It's pretty, after we've had 3 rugged days of hiking.
Yeah.
Today is our technically rest day. Still got a little bit planned, but way less than the other previous days. We made it to the top of Windy Ridge. great viewpoint of Mount St Helens behind us. You could actually see the whole explosion, how the side of the mountain pretty much literally like slid off, and then you could see the whole valley that the sliding rock and the blasting rock made. And there's a lot of kind of explanation of how the rocks got into the lake, and the lake raised 200 feet, causing a lot of flooding in the area. And you really see all the desolation on the mountain to the side. So all the trees are completely destroyed. You could actually see them on the bottom of the river, still floating there. And what's pretty cool too is that from this viewpoint, we got a really lucky with the weather. It's a really cloud day, really clear day. You could see 4 peaks. You could actually see Mount St Helens, obviously, which is right behind me. Then where we were yesterday, kind of a tiny little guy you'll see in the corner out right there, Mount Rainier. And then you'll see Mount Adams, which is gonna be all the way on this side. And then in the far distance, which you won't be able to pick up, but I got a little shot of it, is gonna be Mount Hood, which is in Oregon already. And then a really contrasting kind of day compared to yesterday. Even though we're pretty decent elevation, it's super hot today. It's like a hotter day. It's a lot of a drier climate. It's close to 90 degrees actually right now, but it's kind of hot to hike. So we weren't really expecting to do many hikes. We didn't think there's too much to do, but driving through, we did notice that there's a lot of different trails. There's a lot of viewpoints that you could take a look at, and it's a pretty interesting way to spend a day. I'm pretty happy with it so far. A very interesting thing to note is that the mountain itself was actually 1,300 feet taller before the eruption. So I think it puts at like 9,600, almost 10,000 feet tall, and now it's close to 9,000. It's like 8,300. There was a sign back there kind of talking about that. But in the area that we're walking, you'll see all this rock, and if you just think about it and you imagine that exploding and sending rock at 150 miles per hour, 145 miles an hour, and everything here is pretty much covered in rocks, which used to be part of that mountain. Just thinking about that and imagining how that eruption looked and how it felt to be in the area is absolutely insane. It's such a catastrophic event, something I can't even imagine experiencing. So that's it for Windy Ridge Viewpoint. Now we're gonna go ahead and make our way down south, just a little bit more, to the Lava Canyon trailhead. So see if maybe we'll make a couple stops on the way as well at any nice looking viewpoints, and if not, we'll see you guys at the trailhead. So we have made it to the Lava Canyon hike. It was a much longer drive than anticipated. I thought today would be a pretty quick day overall and be on to our next stop, which is Olympic National Park. But the drive from Windy whatever viewpoint to here was 2 hours. Didn't really plan well. They kind of looked nearby, but the roads are very curvy. They're very slow, so you're going about 30-35 miles an hour. And it took us 2 hours to get here, and we're only at our second stop. Didn't really make any stops. We just been continuously surviving off snacks as this whole trip, Pop-Tarts and different granola bars. We are pretty hungry, but it's the more we hike, we've noticed, the less we think about it, the better it feels. Yeah, so this hike itself seems like it has 3 different parts. It has kind of an easy, a moderate, and then the more challenging part. It seems the suspension bridge is closed though, which is kind of the main reason we came here for. But there was a big sign right at the entrance that said that it's currently closed due to damage. So if you guys are planning on coming here just for the bridge, make sure you don't do what we did and actually do a little bit of research and see that it's open. But the canyon itself should still be pretty cool. We're not going to do the third hike, even though the third part of the hike seems to be the coolest, as you have to climb down a ladder to get into the canyon. We're just gonna do the first one, which gets you to, I guess, like a little bridge, and then the second one, which is the loop that I guess is gonna take you to the supposed suspension bridge that is closed. Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll be open, but I honestly doubt it. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be 0.9 miles we got to go right now. We're like 1 mile. It's not a lot, and then we got a little bit longer for the other one, which is I think 1 mile as well. So not too long of a hike, but it's perfect to stretch our legs from all the driving, and not too much to push us from all the hikes we've been doing in the last 3 days. So unfortunately, the bridge is closed. The signs were correct, as you can see behind me. It's definitely very blocked off. So that also makes the trail not a loop trail. It's kind of one directional trail, but there is two sides. One is kind of in a wooded forest area, one is more like in the canyon section. He's swatting. There's so many flies, and she saw us staying busy over here with the hat. It's kind of weird because there is a ton of flies around. I mean, they are everywhere. It's not mosquitoes, they don't bite, but there's just so many of them that it's like super frustrating. As soon as you stop for even a second, they like completely destroy you, like all over the place. There's a nice campsite here. You could stop. Not really a campsite, but more like a picnic area. Sorry, more of like a picnic area. There's a lot of people kind of eating food, barbecuing. You could do that kind of stuff. And like I was saying, there's two sides, a wooded side, and then like on that opposite side of the bridge, right there, you can walk on the rocks. But it is out in the sun, so we chose this one because it's kind of hot outside. It's like 90 degrees on this side of the mountain, so we're like, you know, let's not worry about it. Let's stay on this side. And it is a lot smoother. There's a decent view of a waterfall that you could take a look at. It's nothing crazy, nothing special. But if you are in the area, you could stop by if you're doing what we're doing, which is pretty much driving around Mount St Helens. You can make it one of your stops. The caves are over here too, the ape caves, the ape caverns. The lava tube, which is pretty much what it is. It's like a cave that was made because of a lava tube, is closed. That was one of the things that I did really want to do, but unfortunately it's not open, so we can't do that. But if you are in the area and you know the caves are open and the lava tube's open, I definitely recommend to do that. Now we're gonna start hiking back. We still have one more stop left on this trip, which is gonna be the observatory. It is already kind of getting late. It's 5:30 and it's kind of on the western side of the mountain, but it is in the direction that we're heading into, which is towards Olympic State Park. So we're gonna start heading back to the cart, start walking back there, and hopefully this drive doesn't take too long. See you guys soon. So after a long 2.5 hour grueling drive, grueling but beautiful, we were able to witness the sunset coming down the ridge, and just the last hour drive from the highway was really nice. We made it to the Johnston Ridge Observatory. So you could probably tell the quality is a little bit lower because it is a lot darker, but the view is still outstanding. The stars are starting to come out. And it is so peaceful. There's maybe 2 people here other than us. It's so empty, and the view of the actual mountain is completely different from what we saw earlier today. You know, it's not the collapsed side, it's the actual kind of volcanic look, and it looks really, really, really nice. The view itself is pretty good. You could hike up a little bit, and you could have a little bit of a different viewpoint, but we've done a lot of driving today. We've seen a lot of the mountain from all different sides, and let me tell you something, it's something that I didn't expect. I thought we wouldn't spend as much time driving as we did. I thought that they would be much shorter, but if you want to do what we did, which is pretty much a loop of the mountain, you're gonna need a lot of time. You're gonna need the whole day. And especially if those lava tubes are open, the ape caves, definitely recommend checking those out if you're here. But yeah, we're pretty much gonna spend maybe another hour here. I brought the tripod, so we're gonna do some more star shooting, astro shooting. It's supposed to be a really, really clear, nice day. There's already a lot of stars out, and with the backdrop of the volcano, it should look really, really good, which I'm super excited for. We got some really nice shots of Mount Rainier with the stars a couple days, 2 days ago. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. I posted those pictures there too, and if you haven't seen my Instagram, check that one out as well. The link will be in the description. But that's really it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have, go ahead and drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Tomorrow we're actually doing the Olympic National Park for 3 days. We're actually driving tonight for 4 hours, so we're gonna get out of here at like 11 at night. We're gonna get to our hotel room at 3, but I'm sure it's definitely gonna be worth it. At least I hope so. If you haven't seen our video from Mount Rainier or from the North Cascade National Park, go ahead and check those out at the channel below, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.